Hi, welcome to this week's Parsha, Parashas Mattos, commentary, the RAMDU. We're here at the wall with all of our friends, and as always, the
Ari Lewis Show, baby.
As always. We've had a mission to accomplish tonight. We've come all through Yerushalayim, and we're here for the weekly usual, for the Ari Lewis Show.
Yeah.
Let's go. I don't know how long this will be. It could be we're done quick, because it's one long topic. It really depends on what the energy here is. Depends on this guy and that guy and everybody else. As the RAMDU always starts, he asks the question, what is the connection between our Parsha and the Parsha that came before it? Remember that? Every week he's saying, what is the connection? And the answer is the aspect of Nedarim. So what was last week's Parsha?
Last week was Pinchas.
I didn't even check why he says it's Nedarim, making oaths. Why is that? I didn't think to ask him why. He just said the connection is Nedarim, the aspect of the language, the Lashon. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I wasn't focusing on it when I taught it. But
There's no vows last week. There's no vows.
So I was saying, let me see. Ready? Let's check it out. Let's not be lazy about it. Let's just see real quick. Let's hop in right here. Ready? I didn't think to check because it wasn't Nogay to the shear, but now that I think about it, it's not, you can't just say it. So he's saying, Ma kesher parsha zois ima kodemes, ki hazhir b'seif l'shalem b'regel karbonos shel nedarim. That's what I thought. They ended with karbonos last week, right? That's what I figured it was. They ended with offerings. What are the offerings called? Nedarim and Nedava, right? So it's one type. You make an oath. That cow, that's going to be my cow to go up there. So what's the connection? We were talking about Nedarim. So now let's talk about the real neder, the oath that you take in your life, right? Chas v'chalila, one swears, I'm never going to eat such and such food, right? Okay, so that's the Inyan from last week to this week. Here's the Chiddush. Ready for a Chiddush?
Yes.
Why is a neder so bad to do? I mean, who cares? You say, hey Ari, can you come and pick me up at 5 o'clock tomorrow? Yeah, Rabbi Katz, absolutely, I'm there, 5 o'clock. I say, Ari, you didn't say bli neder. Who cares?
Well, in general, the vows are an issue because you're adding on commandments.
Okay, so don't do that. So what? Who cares?
Because God gave you a specific amount of commandments.
All right, I sin, I do this, I do that. No.
Your words are important.
Why?
Because everything's created in words.
So, yeah. So, number one, I'm going to give you a smachta. David HaMelech says that his greatness is he never unfulfilled a neder. You know how when you're walking along and you say, hey, I like that car. I would like to buy that car. Right?
Right.
David HaMelech's like, oh, I got to do it now. He was so powerful in his mind, if he saw somebody and said, hey, I'd like to buy that chair, he will go and buy that chair. He left no neder unfulfilled. So he learned not to make nedarim. Don't walk down the street and say, I want that, I want this. Well, you're making the neder.
Right.
Which begs the question, what is a neder? You have a nefesh. Is that correct?
Yes.
So the entire Chumash can be looked at according to nefesh dynamics. Okay? Hey, Ari, you're not good. You feel bad now, right? Yeah, I feel horrible, Rabbi Katz. What happened? I stirred up your nefesh, right? And now we have issues. I gotta do tshuva, I gotta apologize, because your nefesh remembers I insulted you. You're not gonna let it go. Every time you see me, every time you see me, there's that guy who upset me.
Right.
And if I say, look, Ari, I'm sorry, man, I was really upset and tired. I love you, bro. You're like, your nefesh says, hey, erased problem, it's all good, love.
If it's sincere, yeah.
But your nefesh is like, it's a writable program. It doesn't forget. If I poke you, it says, ow, that hurt. Rabbi Katz owes me a poke. Right. God made it. You're plagued by your nefesh. If I love on you, we're good. Your nefesh is happy. If I hate on you, it's upset. You're constantly in motion with your nefesh. You're never still. So what's the chiddush by nedarim? Every neder you make, you are writing on your nefesh that neder. Hey, I can't wait to have okay, here it is. Cheshbon. Ari said on July 28th, he wanted to buy a Cinnabon. Asa Khalil. So now Shemayim's looking. All right, Ari, no, let's go. When are you gonna buy it? No, look, we just walked past Cinnabon. No, let's go. Let's go. What's the problem?
Yeah, but what if you say that about a Beirut? I want pork, right? Just something you say doesn't mean you're going to actually.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of like what we're getting into. So since we're getting into nedarim, right? Mm-hmm. And the aspect of nedarim is that which you etch on your soul, because your soul, that's the nature of your soul. The nefesh is you saw Terminator 2.
Yeah, a little, yeah.
Right, when like the liquid metal, that's your nefesh.
Okay.
It does stuff. It copies stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's alive. It's a supercomputer. Right? When you speak on it, it guards it. When you hurt somebody, you say, I offended Rabbi Katz on this and this date. So you're obligated to fix it. Your nefesh is telling, hey, no, let's go. So now when a woman gives birth, what do we say? She swears, I'm never, ever doing that again. And she's got to bring a carbon.
Right.
So it's a sin. Why? It's a sin. She said she's never giving birth again. Yes, she is. Right? So here, what's the job of the male? Whether it be her father, her husband, the gevurot of the female is to make a neder al hanafsha. That's her metzias. It's like she's plagued. You know how guys are plagued over certain things? Getting married, getting a job. That's our job, correct?
Yeah.
We're plagued. We can't say, well, you get the job. I'm sitting home watching the TV and playing Nintendo. Life didn't give you that right. At the end of the day, if push comes to shove, you're going to go get the job. So that's why you're plagued. She's plagued because she makes nedarim on her nefesh. When Ari made the meatloaf, she says, I'm never eating Ari's meatloaf again. So she makes a neder.
So, but is she doing that on smaller things?
No, it just comes out.
Okay.
Just blah, 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 blah. Why did you say, I quit? Why did you say I don't want to work? You do want to work. You were mad at the job, and you don't want to quit, but you said, I quit. I've had it. I can't take it anymore.
Right.
It's not exactly a neder. You're just upset you have to work. Mm-hmm. So on the Isha, the Nashim, the neder comes out. So this is where the man comes in. She writes it on her soul. Now, if you're married, now your nefesh is one. It's a problem. It's bound. So when a man learns Torah and he becomes a Baal Bina, right? He understands the different, they call it in brisk, Tzvei Dinim in the Talmud, right? You could say it means this. You could say it means that. Tu pshatim, correct?
Yeah.
So your job is to hear that neder that she made. Bli neder, she says, I swear I'm never going to Supercell deal again. Your job is to hear it and say, what'd she say? Bli neder, I'm never going to Supercell deal again. So you would say, I got it. She says, Bli neder, I'm never going to Supercell. Period. Again, I will go. You see what I'm saying? So what you do is you chop the mochin of the lashon, because deep down she didn't want to make the neder, but it comes out lashon neder. So when you really have shalom bias and you know what's going on, you say, she says, I never am going to the Supercell deal. Period. Nekuda. Again, I am going to go. She realized, I do kind of want to go again, because deep inside there was a makshava. She wants to go back because she just realized next Shabbos I got to go shopping. And how am I going to get the groceries? And I don't like the store over here. I got to go to that store over there. Kamash Milan. I'm going to Supercell deal. You say, I know you're going to go to Supercell deal. Every Friday you say, I'm never going there again. And what do? Every week you go. So I know that wasn't your kavana. You do want to go again.
Is that how you get out of the net?
I have a smicha for what you're saying, because it's very beautiful what you're saying.
Yeah.
Rashi is saying
Yeah.
that Baal is meifir the neder,
Yeah.
but the Chacham is matir the neder. And it's exactly what you're saying.
There you
Because a Torah, it means you did a neder,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it's mutalo, right?
That's right.
It's not Torah.
That's right.
And mufer, it's not a neder. And that's
right.
what you're saying. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Mamash.
Thank you.
Shkoyach.
That's what Rashi is saying on this place.
I got a Rashi right here.
Yeah,
you like
look at
the Rashi? Get this. You got to hear this. There's a. I'm going to jump to it now. Page 306 of my book. This is the RAMDU Parsha, the content of the Parsha. The lashon Hey Nun Yud Aleph. I said Heini. Right. It's what, right. So did you read that Rashi over there?
I think so.
It's Gavaldik. Rashi says, I don't know what this word means. It means to hold her back. Hold on.
If it's
hold on. It means to hold her back. So she made a neder. The ball's got to hold her back so that she can't go weiter in Shas with what she's doing. Rashi says, I don't know what this word means. It's spelled Lashon Hana, but it's Lashon Meifir. The Maskana is Meifir the Neder. Why does Rashi say he doesn't know what it means? Got this?
Which chapter?
Pasuk 36 in Parashas Mattos. Why does Rashi... Chapter 30, Pasuk 6. Why does Rashi say he doesn't know what that word means? If I ask anybody on the planet Earth reading the Parsha this week, would you say that Rashi literally thought, hey, boys and girls, I don't know what this word means? Would you think that? Would you think that? Rashi writes, Ani lo yodea mahu.
No, he's asking, he doesn't know what it means, the Lashon of Eini.
Okay, but did Rashi write that? He thought, hey, I don't know what it means.
Right.
You think so? Do you think so? I'm asking you.
What
Do you think Rashi sat down and said, oh, man, Ani lo yodea mahu? Do you think he thought those words?
So what is Rashi saying?
I'm asking, but do you think he thought...
What is Rashi saying?
Hold on a second, Mastama, you would say Rashi thought, Ani lo yodea mahu.
Not that what Rashi is saying. Rashi is saying...
Wait, I'm talking about when Rashi wrote that.
Rashi's,
1 second, Achi. When Rashi wrote that, is he saying, I don't know what that...
No, he knows what it means, but he's trying to get it...
Where'd the Lashon come from? Where'd that Lashon...
Exactly. He's trying to
But wait a second, I'm asking, where did that Lashon come from? Ani lo yodea mahu. Where did that Lashon come from?
Eini yodea mai.
Yeah, where's that Lashon from? Rashi wrote that?
Yeah.
You think so?
So who wrote it?
It's a tremendous Kiddush. Look in the Sifri, on that pasuk, the Tanayim wrote, Ani lo yodea mai.
Oh no,
Verbatim, Rashi copied and pasted it. What's the Kiddush? Rashi does not bring Pshat from the pasuk, he brings Lefi Pshuto. What is Lefi Pshuto? Exactly what Chazal said. Copy and paste. Rashi did not think, I need lo yodea mahi. He goes to it right from the Sifri. Right from the Sifri. And what does Sifri say? It's Lashon Meifir and Neder. So did Rashi think of it, or did he know what the Chazal said in the Sifri and he brought it to the Parsha Shavua? It's a tremendous Kiddush. All of Rashi's words are not his own. Every Rashi, I guarantee you, look in your Midrash Gadol, in the Sifri, and all the Midrash Halacha, every time Rashi will bring you from there. Every time. Every guy this week is going to read this parsha and say, look, Rashi didn't know what the word meant. It wasn't his question. He got it from the Sifri. And it was a rhetorical question from the Sifri. So every guy in your world that is going to read this, Rashi didn't know Pshat. Really? He quoted it from the Sifri. Verbatim. Lashon. When you get home, look at the Sifri on the pasuk. You'll see it's mamish word for word. So then, what is the word Haini? Right. So it's Lashon. Not only the Dibor was Lashon Neder for her, but also the Makshava, the Hirhur. That's why it's a strange word. Right. So it's a word not Meifir. It's deeper than Meifir. Mamish hold her back by her thought. So I wanted to read what the RAMDU writes.
Amazing.
There's a concept called the Torah of Shem. Torah of Shem is when the Caleb,
Beautiful.
So when the Torah is so refined, like this word Haini, that people say, what does it mean? Does it mean made for the netter? What does it mean? So listen to this. We say that the Torah of Shem ben Noach, the prophetic Torah, right? That's inside Torah's Moshe, but we never know what that means. There are some words, like the word ger, which appears 1,000,000 times throughout the Chumash, and it does not mean convert most of the time. It's a very refined word. What does it mean? The answer is it doesn't mean anything when you speak it. There's also a hirhor attached to it. But how do you articulate hirhorid? How do you articulate thought? You can't. So that's the Torah of Shem. It's when words are so sublime and refined, you can't say it. What does the RAMDU say about this? This word Haini, which is one of those concepts. Listen to this. Lashon hazehu rach. This language is very soft. Therefore, it's shayach to the inyan of hirhor, that it's a davar panimi v'ruchani. It's a word that is only panemius and spiritual. But hefer is lashon kasher. Just nullify the netter. I want to go to Taco Bell. No, I don't. McDonald's. Oh, done. Okay. Therefore, it's shayach le'inyan dibur. That's more chitzoin the gufani min ahirur. You say, where are we going to eat? I say Taco Bell. You say, I thought you want to go to McDonald's. I forgot. I'm sorry. That was a problem with dibur. But if I said blah 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 blah, but on a very deep level, you can't say you said wrong. I said it right. It was my thought that was confused. That's this lashon here. Is that mamish amazing or what?
So that's what Rashi says.
Rashi is pointing out that this word, I don't know what it means. I'm saying not only does Rashi bring an amazing concept, that the word he doesn't know what it means because it doesn't mean anything. It's a thought, not a spoken. Number two, Rashi's commentary you can't say. Why? Rashi didn't write it. He copied and pasted it from the Sifri, word for word. So everyone's going to say, wow, Rashi didn't know Pshat. Really? Rashi never wrote it, my friend. He copied and pasted it from the Sifri. You look it up, it says, Ani lo yodei mahi. Every time Rashi brings Lafi Pshuto and Napshat, number one. Number two, Rashi barely ever wrote anything. He copies and pastes from Midrash Gadol and the Sifri and the Midrash Halacha 99% of the time. If he does anything, he'll take two shittas and put it together. Very little he wrote. So you say, well, why Rashi was wrong? Not even a concept. He copied and pasted it. It's not even a concept.
Wait, are you saying Rashi didn't have original thoughts?
He did not include them in his commentary. He literally knew where in Torah, a rabbi does not think. This is what I learned from Zalman Nehemiah Goldberg when I got smicha. You find where it's written. You thought it. For example, I say I've been teaching Torah of Shem for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I've been struggling to make up my own definition. Oh, it's the spiritual Torah, it's refined. RAMDU wrote it. Hey, Rabbi Katz, it's the RAMDU here. Let me tell you a definition of the Torah of Shem. Now, if I quote, if anyone asks me in the future, Rabbi Katz, what is the definition of Torah Shem? Well, it's a soft language that blah, 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 blah. I don't have to say it ever again. RAMDU already said it. I just need to copy and paste it. So no one will get my thoughts. And how do you puzzle a rabbi when he gives his opinion? Who might have an opinion? I know the concept exists. The RAMDU sources it for me.
So that means there are going to be no new thoughts in Torah?
The Torah, this is my opinion. This is my opinion.
You just said not to
right?
do
No,
that.
I'm saying now it's my opinion.
Okay.
Because I am technically an Acharon, but I'm not. I'm not the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and I'm not Rav Moshe Feinstein. Okay? The Achronim ended in the 80s and 90s. But I'm a rabbi, so what's my job? To teach the Torah that's already been written. What's the Chiddush? David Katz has nothing to add to writing Torah. I will never be able to write something new. David Katz said that Moshe Rabbeinu was a swell guy. I don't have to say that. Rambam already wrote that once upon a time, or somebody already wrote that. I will never, ever, ever, ever have to write anything ever. It was already said. My job as a late Acharon is to know God's Masorah and know where it was written. Rabbi Katz, Torah of Shem, that's a weird idea. Really? Ask the RAMDU his opinion, tough guy, and ask him what he thinks.
But I guess what I'm saying is, at this point in our history, are you saying there are going to be no new thoughts about Torah?
No.
Okay.
No.
Whatever's been discovered,
nothing is new. At this point, any thought you have
has already been thought of.
You are miskaven to it. Now, go dig it out and find it. You will find it. Betachon, you will find it.
So whatever's been discovered in Torah has been discovered. No new discovery.
It's already been written.
It's already been written. Okay.
You now have to discover it.
Okay.
Right? Because the RAMDU wrote about Torah of Shem. How many guys on the planet know that the RAMDU wrote about Torah of Shem? How many guys on the planet know about Torah of Shem? 1? 5? Okay, so Bob over there figured it out. He was learning, Parsha told us, and he figured out Torah of Shem, right? So he went and he said, if I tell it the name of Bob, they'll say, who's Bob? If Bob says, the RAMDU says, as an asmachta, Bob is sound. We can't question Bob. Bob gets married for thinking of it because he didn't know the RAMDU when he thought of it. So Bob did think of it. But Bob doesn't have to write a book, Bob's Thoughts on Torah. Bob should go learn the Torah and find where it's written. The Torah has been written. That's why we're close to Mashiach. The whole Masorah has been written. You might have a hard time finding it, but that's what makes a Rav. A Rav, and this was told to me on the day of my smicha test. A Rav finds where it's written. That's the Chiddush.
Okay, so if you have a thought about something, you're saying it's already been written.
I thought that there is such a thing as Ger non-Jew. I thought that.
It was already written.
Well, first I thought that.
Right.
Someone said, I am a non-Jew, can I keep Shabbos? I thought, well, the Rambam says Chayav Misa, I never saw it inside. It sounds logical, let me go find it. Krisis 9a, found it. It's called a Havamina. I had a Havamina that a non-Jew could keep some kind of Shabbos. When I found it in Krisis 9a, the Havamina went to, it's Torah. But the problem is when you teach that, everybody else never had the Havamina. So that not only do they not have the Havamina, they never even thought to find it. So when you bring it, the RAMDU, Torah Shem, whatever, they're like, I don't know, that sounds fishy to me. Don't ask me, take it up with the RAMDU. But that's where you get controversial. Well, do we poskin that way? And that's my response is, did you ever go to a beginner's Gemara shir? Every beginner's Gemara shir, the bacher always asks, is that the halacha? You don't ask that. You don't ask the halacha in the middle of sugya. My answer is, go learn the sugya and come back to me and tell me what you found, and you'll find the emes. All right. So now, this is the essence of Shalom Bayis. Because she's filled with Gevuras, and she has a Yetzer Hara in her nefesh. So you brought the challah home, and she's going to say, I hate your challah, Ari. Okay. Mayfair Neder. Or, I'm never eating your challah again, Ari. She didn't say that. She Damachazkut. We're not angry. Serenity now. I hear what you said. I'm never. Of course I'm eating your challah, Ari. She went, Yerida l'tzorech aliyah.
Wait, so she basically mevatels her neder by saying that...
You mevatel the neder.
Oh, I do it.
Yeah, because think about it. Is she really never going to eat your challah again? No. But she said it.
Right.
But next week she's going to eat your challah again.
Right.
So your job is to use chasadim on her gevuras to ma'akir her neder. She didn't... But if you don't, it's on her nefesh. I said it, and you know what you're going to do? You're going to use that against her. Well, you said you're never going to eat my challah again. You owe it to her for Shalom Bayis. And if you really pay attention to the mochin, people don't speak in linear syntax. Hi, hello, comma. My name is Ari, capital A with a period at the end. People don't speak syntax. People speak hello, colon, my apostrophe name is dash Ari underline Ari capital, not a capital A. Why? That's how Ari speaks. And if the more I know Ari, I get to know his weird language. You don't speak in syntax. You might say two sentences in one sentence. So the more we know each other, I can mayfair your neder by hearing your nusach. What you wanted to say was, I'm never eating the challah with sesame seeds ever again. But it comes out, I'm never eating Ari's challah again. You're supposed to say, I get you. I remember you don't like the sesame seeds. Yeah, I want the poppy seeds. All right, yeah, cool. Next time I'll get the poppy seeds, no problem. But if you're gonna be all, you're not eating my challah again, I'm gonna. She just didn't say it right. She wanted to say the sesame seeds and the dough and the bun and the guy and the store. But Mitch Hedberg has a joke. Waitress comes out and says, what can I get you to eat? Chicken sandwich. She says, how would you like your eggs? And I said, well, think about it. Incubated, and then raised, and then hatched, and then grown, and then plucked, and then killed, and then stuffed, and then cut up, and placed on the grill. I don't have time for a sandwich on that. Scrambled. So that's how it is. The Lashon comes out, we don't have all the time in the world to hash out what you meant. Sometimes you have to don b'chazkut and say, hey, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. And you don't have to say the whole Megillah every time. I got it. Mayfair and Neder. We're all good. Your nefesh is healed. And this is Meichin the godless. You cannot be in Moron Man. When you're in Moron Man, I'm never eating Ari's challah again. Don't say, well, good. You got to be ready. You got to be Moshe Rabbeinu Messinai. You got to be ready to hear what she's saying. Here she comes. But not negative. Here comes the neder. She's not saying what she should be saying. She wants to say good. It came out not good. It's man ban. Do the tikkun of kabbalah. We're going to do Shalom Bayis. I love you anyways. You got to be filled with mohein agadlut. That's your job. So she's got the gevuras, shein ban. You're the godless and the moichin, shein ma. And they come together for the sake of Shalom Bayis. Marriage is miniature tikkun olam. Because this is how the Sitra Achra fights, it's how Kedusha fights. Right? If some guy comes up to me right now and says, get your date and tuchus out of here, right? I have to realize he didn't mean that. Right? It's a Sitra Achra, I gotta find the Nitzutz of Kedusha, all these things. So this idea of the Nedarim and the Mochin and Dan B'Chatzkut and turn Din into Rachamim, which is the greater world of Kabbalah, Marriage is that. She's close to the Sitra Achra, you're close to Mashiach, and you need to do a little messianic coming together every day. Right? You're the king, literally, you're a Melech, she's a Malka, she's the Shechina, you're Zeranpin, you're the Kohen, she's of Malchus. You live that Torah reality. So the more you master it in the home, then you can do it against the Sitra Achra. You know, that's holding that mosque up there. That's the same thing. It's the same Avodah. So just kind of change gears a little bit. What I find with the RAMDU's commentary defining the Torah of Shem, it's such an amazing thing. I have to admit, I had no interest in learning the RAMDU as deep as I did to find that Rashi, the whole Maisi here. It happened to be that's where my bookmark was, and he mentioned Rashi, and I said, yeah, you know what? Let's look it up just to see. I said, do I really know what the RAMDU is doing? Because it's so subtle and so kind of push it. So I look up the Rashi and I start seeing it. Like, man, look at this. There's a whole story here. Rashi copied and pasted. It's a godless of how Rashi works, how the word works, how the Tanayim work. And then I realized when the RAMDU explained Torah of Shem on that Rashi, I was never supposed to find that RAMDU. It was just one of billions of RAMDUs. So imagine if I would research every pasuk in the RAMDU like I did that Rashi. Think about what I would find this guy did. Every pasuk he does Torah of Shem on that level. So if he does the next pasuk and a Rashi over blah blah blah, you look it up, you'll see every time he is not explaining the davar kashet. He's talking about the hirhurim. That's who this guy is. He's explaining the hirhur of the lashon of the Torah. It's in godless of godless. We had a bracha this week of one pasuk, one word, where we got to see that. You need to know who the RAMDU is. Every pasuk, that's what he's doing. As they say in Texas, he can't not do it. He can't not do it. He can only do Torah Shem. He can only do the deepest kabbalah possible. But it's so deep, it sounds like, you saw that guy, right? And then I told him what it was. He's like, wow, every pasuk. And the tachlis of this neder and hirhur and Torah of Shem is kishuf, witchcraft. What is witchcraft? When we use the neder against you, right? When I use a language and I slip it in and you never caught it, right?
That's
you never
witchcraft?
caught it. Yeah, diversion. You know, when you ask me a question, wow, Rabbi Katz, where does it say Torah of Shem? And I say, well, Ari, it's written about in the Hasidic books. No, it isn't. I mean, maybe it is, but I'm saying that's not the source, right? And I know, the Chiddush is, I know you are not, I mean, whoever you are, right? You're not on the level to look it up. You're not going to look it up. I didn't give you enough information to ask anybody. So now I get a little spin and I own you. I want you to do what I tell you. I'm going to show you right now the biggest kishuf in the world. Ready? Mm-hmm. Tell me a Devar Torah in one sentence. Go ahead. Any Devar Torah. Just one thing. Pay attention to my response to you.
Okay, Devar Torah in one sentence. Adam Rishon was the first man.
There's two opinions about that.
Are there?
Yes.
What are the two opinions?
Well, it's a good question. So there's the Midrash Rabbah's opinion that Adam Rishon was the first man, but the other opinion is what's said in the works of Chassidus. That Zeralpin preceded creation, and he was on the level of Adam Kadmon, which is in the deepest form of Kabbalah. You just got kishufed. You just got kishufed. My friend, there's only one Adam Rishon, and I can sit here and talk all day long about the two opinions. There's not two opinions. There's one. There was Adam Rishon. So what they do is every time, tell me another Torah.
Okay. Abraham Avinu was the first quote-unquote Jew.
There's two opinions about that.
That's because before the Torah was given.
There's two opinions about that, right?
Right.
See? No, there isn't. I'm saying even that, it's just stam. It's just sleight of hand. Sleight of hand. Just for the sake of Kishuf. Tell me anything true. Go ahead and tell me anything true.
Well, okay. Pesach is on the 15th of Nisan.
Pesach Sheni is not on the 15th of Nisan.
What about Shavuos is on the 6th of Sivan?
Is there even such a thing as Shavuos?
Right, because, well, the date's not written in the Torah.
The point is, why do I have to argue with you? Why is it when you tell me Torah, I have to counter with another opinion? How about we talk about what you said? How about we put our minds together? You see what I'm saying? All I'm doing is taking your lashon and using it against you. Whatever you say, I'll just throw in 4 or 5 ideas. It's garbage. So Mayfair the Neder is when you are strong enough, and I remember when I said it's a Midrash Rabbah on Adam Rishon?
Right.
Which one? Where? What's the source? You're supposed to ask me, what's the source?
Yeah, fine. What's the source?
So let's go, and then I say blah, blah, blah. Let's go, let's look it up. Let's look it up. Don't stop. Make me bring it to you. And I guarantee you, when I come back to you, which I won't do because I'm a witch, okay? When I come back to you, if I would, it's going to be a witchcraft every time. You're going to see I took it out of context, I didn't learn it right, and I was using it to marginalize you. That's why whenever I hear the other opinions, Gera's convert, I look up every verse, every time, and I see the corruption on every verse that's corrupted. One rabbi who shall not be named said the time of Noah, the people had webbed fingers, and Noah was the first guy not to have webbed fingers. You know why that's a joke? Because I know that midrash that rabbi quoted. You know what? You want to know why it's a bad midrash? What he quoted?
What?
The word in Hebrew is adukim. You know what adukim is? This is adukim. Am I clasping my recorder? Yes. Right?
Right.
Can you see my fingers, or is it a hand? It's a hand. That's adukim. But if you take it lefi pshuto, out of context, well, Rabbi Katz only has a hand and no fingers. So it must be all people that hold recorders have no fingers. No. The concept adukim are people who clasp onto things. Now, why were they clasping onto it? I don't know. Go learn more about that midrash, about the people at the time of the flood. What were they clasping onto? I don't know. But don't tell me it means they had webbed fingers. The word is a Talmudic term. It's not just an accident. It's a major Talmudic term. If I'm adukim in a contract, it's different than if I'm just holding on to the edge of the contract. This is in Bava Metzia, the first chapter. If I'm holding like this and you're holding like this, we are in whatever, right? But if I'm saying, no, all right, it's mine. Now I'm adukim. You can't take it halachically. Big difference. Big difference. That lashon is used to the whole Torah. So when people corrupt that, they're not realizing that you're corrupting the entire Torah in the usage of that thing. This is why you have to learn the whole Masorah, particularly the Talmud. Talmud uses it in different ways than you would think, right? Like spiritual concepts, but in reality, so you know what it is in reality. And we're almost done. We're going to just finish off by saying, Pinchas last week received from Moshe Rabbeinu the Malchus, the Yesod, the leadership. Moshe had a kingdom. He was Melech Moshe, and he made trumpets, silver trumpets, which was a siman of his Malchus. Those trumpets were given to Pinchas in the fight against Midian. Pinchas had the ability to wipe out and kill Bilam and take out his kishuf that he used with the Shem Tumah of the sons of Midian that Abraham sent east. Bilam took that Shem Tumah. Bilam used that, says the RAMDU. And kishuf was his thing. The only way to kill that is from Kedusha. And Pinchas represented that when you had the trumpets, the tzitz, and the revelation of the Aron Kodesh. That package is what we call Pinchas Eliyahu. Right? Pinchas with the Gilui Eliyahu. Right? The Ma'aseh Merkava, even when the Aron's not Mamish here. Shem Hashem, Mamish. And with the trumpets, i.e. the Malchus of Pinchas, the Yesod of Pinchas. That's how he took out Bilam. It's why Pinchas received the Nishmat Mashiach, Nishmat Moshe. Pinchas is Eliyahu, and all the godless of Pinchas. All Mochin, the godless of Pinchas. The essence of it is how to mayfair a neder. How to get into the Mochin of a Lashon. Pinchas is the essence to that. And I'll just close with a random thought. On page 316 in the Sefer, he mentions that Gerim can makabel tuma, whereas a Nachri cannot makabel tuma. Anything that is chashuv and dignified is suckling from the energy of the world can become tameh, impure. A Nachri cannot become impure because they're not doing anything chashuv, right? So the Chiddush is he mentions Klal Yisrael becomes tameh, obviously, and the Gerim, which is why the Para Duma is Shaykh also to Gerim. He mentions Bris Mila is what makes a proper Ger non-Jew. We know that in Halacha that's a Chumrah, maybe even the Iker Chumrah, but nonetheless a non-Jewish Ger is Shaykh to Tuma, and they brought that for the whole episode with the fighting the Midianites and killing Bilam and the Yafat Torah mitzvah where they bring back the Ger women all in the Parsha. And we'll close with that.
What's a Nachri though, real quick?
A Nachri is a non-Israel. It's a goy akum, the Talmudic terms, and the Chumash are called Nachri. There's two entities in the entire world, Yisrael and Nachri. An apostate Yid is a din of a Nachri. A Nachri who learns Torah becomes like a Kohen Gadol. If they become a Ger, non-Jew, they're no longer Nachri, they're connected to the fourth house of Israel, Gerim. That's all from the Kotel. Ari Lewis, sign us out, please.
That's it for tonight. God bless and good night.